Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Natural Hair Weekly podcast. We are on our podcast number 6. I am Candace Jenkins, the Caribbean and lifestyle editor. What's wrong with me? And yes, I'm sitting in today I'm doing the intro today for Jadusha. Now she's the professional, she's the one with all the training. I am the novice here, so I'm trying a thing like the West Indians say. But it's our CEO Zena is here with me.
Hey everybody!
And we're sitting on the balcony at Zena's condo, and the noise that you're hearing, that sweet sound, not the noise, the sound that you're hearing is the sound of the waves crashing in the ocean, I guess. And it's just making a really soothing sound for us here to do this podcast today.
So we thought we'd share it with you.
We just wanted to share that with you. Zena is going to tell us the top stories of the week, and we're going to get right into it.
Yeah, so we've got a lot for you. We're trying to try and squeeze a lot in the 30 minutes. So we're going to give you an overview of what we thought the top stories were this week in the natural hair world. We're also going to share an interview that Jadusha did with one of our favourite bloggers and vloggers, Mary from the Curly Closet. She also will be sharing her tip for blow drying your natural hair and keeping it healthy. She also says something about sulfates and parabens that I've never heard of, which was really interesting. So it just shows you it's all about balance. We'll be giving our Wish You Were Here shout outs to our taggers. Thank you for supporting us. And we have a competition that will be coming up as well for you, as well as letting you know what natural hair events are happening this week. So as Candice said, we'll dive into our stories of the week. So this week, one of our top stories was the Yahoo Beauty story by Jacqueline Lorian Yates, called Teacher Saves the Day by styling her student hair after she was teased. So Candice pointed this story out to me. It was so cute. Why did you love it, Candice?
It just goes right back to what we are doing here, or why we started what we have started with the Natural Hair Weekly, and just helping people and trying to target mostly the younger people, making people feel better by helping them with their hair. She was a youth counselor, and there was a child in her class that was being teased because her hair is never done. And, I guess as a counselor, she's known the student for over the past year, and she noticed that something was different about her, and it's because she was being teased. She's being teased about her hair, and there she is. She jumped in. She got permission from the student's parents, and she did her hair, and immediately there was a confidence boost. I mean,
yeah, it's amazing.
It's just about doing that one thing that can change someone's life, someone's experience.
And it seems like a small thing, but as we know, we've seen a lot in the press, and there's lots of campaigns going on that hair is a lot to do with your confidence.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are times when you're having a bad hair day. It sets the tone for the day. You're having a bad day.
For real.
You're having a bad day,
Yeah. So, leading on to our second story, How I Styled My Natural Hair as a Man by George Johnson and Teen Vogue. So we do talk a lot about women and natural hair, but there's lots of men who have natural hair. They choose not to have their hair cut low. They choose to grow their hair, and sometimes the advice that's given can be seen to be biased slightly to the women. So George Johnson decided to take this into his own hands and get some tips on how to style his natural hair, because he says he wakes up sometimes and is not quite sure what to do with his hair. So I thought that was a really good article, and it was a reminder that natural hair men need love too.
Oh, absolutely. And when you look at the story on our site and you read it, you can see that George is not someone you would think with like waist length hair.
Yeah.
It is just he has
a little high top
style, but he has it styled nicely. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have waist length hair as a man, or hair that's touching your shoulders, because he has the sides faded in. It's just taking care of your hair the same way you take care of your skin. You take care of your hair.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You just take care of you.
And you want to know how you do that to the best of your ability. So,
yeah, that's a good article.
Yeah, thanks for speaking up for the brothers, George.
Yes, that's talking about speaking up for the brothers. I'm sure everybody by now would have heard about the Michael Vick comment that he made on Colin Kaepernick's hair.
Can we get a kiss teeth on that?
Oh boy, it's so sad. Sometimes you feel like it's you're moving in the right direction, and then someone like Michael Vick make a statement like that, and it just sets you back. It sets you back about 10 paces back. I mean, it's just his comment. It just goes to show why we need to continue our journey and keep on empowering people, men and women, to love yourself, love your hair as it grows out of your head, and just even with other people and other races, like don't be judgmental. Don't judge people based on what you think you see that's wrong with their hair or their skin or whatever the case may be. Just take people for who they are. But clearly Michael Vick, he didn't get that lesson as he was growing up.
Unfortunately not. No. But he did come back and apologize.
Yeah, so. I think it was too late though.
Candice is like, no mercy.
It's a little too late. It came out, and the funny thing is that when you listen to the interview, those were the first things that came out of his mouth, that Colin Kaepernick should get a haircut to make himself more presentable. What is presentable?
Yeah. Rather than, he's not doing very well in terms of his game and his technique, maybe he should look at some ways to improve his game and improve his skills, which would be a fair comment if they didn't think he was playing up to par. But to bring a comment to focus on his hair, I'd never seen anybody catch a football with their afro, so I'm not quite sure. No afro or afro. I'm not quite sure how the hair thing gets in the way. But
it's just funny that someone, if we're judging people, which we're saying not to do, but someone of Mike with a history like Michael Vick to be saying something like that about Colin Kaepernick, I mean, come on, buddy. Don't do it.
So what's your thoughts? Did you read the article? Do you think
Michael Vick was right? Do you think that Colin Kaepernick should get a haircut to make himself look more presentable so that he can be signed? Do you think it affects his game? Do you think his afro affects his game?
Yeah. Well, we'd love to hear what you think. So speak with us in the Facebook group and Natural Hair Weekly, or tweet us on NWeekly, and watch out for these stories in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go to the naturalhairweekly.com and sign up, and you'll get a newsletter in your inbox with these top stories every week. So, moving on to our Wish You Were Here.
Wish You Were Here.
Taggers.
The first one. Chidusha, I really wish you were here. I missed you.
Yeah, we're holding down the fort.
That's the first one. Yeah. We got this.
We got this. We got this, girl. We got this. Our other taggers we wanted to shout out. Some of our regulars, and we have some new ones as well. I am Angela Kay. Thank you for tagging us with your RT visualizations. Shay MZ Hair Nurse, always up on your silk blowouts, looking beautiful. Love the colours. The colours are vibrant.
Colours are popping for summer.
Yep. Miss Jasper, love the pineapple do. Hot. Always rocking it. Always on point with your styles. And our new tagger this week, DS Drummer Boy. Boy, you're killing us with that bass. We had to post that on Instagram. That I don't know what that track is. I'm gonna have to look into it. But the way you were playing the bass to it, yeah, it was definitely setting the tone for our Saturday sounds. So thank you for tagging us. And if you are a naturalista and want some more exposure, please tag us on our Instagram page, which is just simply Natural Hair Weekly.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
Just tag us. You never know. We'll give you a repost.
Yes. Definitely get the word out there. And the Wish You Were Here events that we wish we were going to, if we weren't sitting here by the beautiful ocean listening to the waves.
Crashing.
We've got Afro Punk in London coming up on the 22nd and 23rd. It's this weekend. So if you are in London, that's the place to be. We had the opportunity to speak to one of the original producers of the film that inspired the movement, Afro Punk. So if you haven't seen that film that inspired the movement, check it out. Really good film, really good documentary. Also, I Love Braids Day has been created, an international I Love Braids Day, and Braid Love is doing a celebration in Brooklyn on the 29th of July. So these will also be included in our newsletter. So if you want more information, make sure you sign up for that newsletter.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Maybe get some new styles for the summer. The braid styles.
I'm telling you, braids, rocking those braids. So we don't have Jadusha here, but we've got a little bit of Jadusha vibe here on our Natural Hair Weekly podcast, because it wouldn't be a podcast without hearing her voice. This week, she interviewed Mary.
Yes, from the Curly Closet.
Yes.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, she's somebody who we have been following since we started the Natural Hair Weekly, and we often post her tutorials on our site. She is awesome. So we wanted to find out more about her natural hair journey and how she became one of the top UK bloggers. So she started her journey 3 years ago, and let's play the interview so you can hear a little bit more about Mary.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Hey everyone, this is Jadusha V Shines, and I'm here today with the beautiful and vivacious Mary from the Curly Closet. Hi Mary, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I feel a bit embarrassed now. Now I've had all of these accolades. Thank you. You're so sweet.
Well, it's true. I mean, you got a really strong following, haven't you?
Yeah. I would say that I do, but at the same time, it's also taken me by surprise. That's the honest truth. I really didn't expect to have the amount of sort of followers and subscribers that I do. So it's really surprising, but in a good way, yeah.
Well, let's hit it. For those of you who do not know who Mary is the founder of the Curly Closet. Can you tell them what you do and what services you provide, please?
So the main thing that I do is focus mostly on my YouTube channel, where I essentially share my hair journey. I share natural hair tips, hair growth advice. I answer people's questions about natural hair and how to care for their natural hair. I do hairstyling tutorials and a little bit of lifestyle and a bit of beauty thrown into the mix. Essentially, that's what I do.
And how long have you been doing it for?
I actually started blogging about 5 years ago. So initially I was a bit bored one day. You know how you do. So
no, actually we don't. We're here to learn.
Yeah, I actually, what happened was my hair was texturised around that time, about 6 years ago. And I was looking for I just thought one day randomly, let me have a look online and see if I can find some information about natural hair, about hair and how to kind of fix, because I had some breakage. I texturised and coloured my hair, so my hair was suffering.
Wow.
And then I came across all of these articles online, and I couldn't believe that there was so much information out there. And then I started seeing all of these pictures of people who had, amazing growth, and they were sharing tips and stuff. And then I found YouTube, and then found all of these tutorials. Oh my word, really? All of this stuff is out here. Wow, I was so amazed. And then, one day I was at home. I was a little bit bored. I thought, it'd be interesting. Why don't I make a video? And I thought, oh no, I don't know. I'm not that professional, all of that kind of stuff. And I just thought, all right, I'll just part one. And if it's really, really bad, then I'll take it down. It's fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah. You're brave. I have to say you're brave.
So I put the video out, and then one person commented on my video and they gave me some constructive feedback, which was actually really nice. I thought, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And then I got an email to my inbox saying, such and such has subscribed to your channel. And I thought, what? Someone subscribed to me? What? Someone subscribed to my channel. I thought, this is... You mean someone wants to watch me?
Wow.
Okay. And then I thought, that wasn't so bad. You know what? I might make another video.
Wow.
That was quite good. It wasn't too bad. I didn't have anybody, making any horrible comments. So I made another one and another one and another one. And it just kind of kept going.
Yeah, and then slowly, obviously, subscription grew, viewing grew, because you've got really high stats in terms of views and shares and stuff.
I think that it's weird. I feel like on one level, I find it really hard to take on board. On another level, I kind of see a lot of other YouTubers who are way bigger than me, and I just think, okay, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. But, the aim is always to improve and to reach more people. So
yeah, and to find and figure out what it is that your subscribers actually like. Do they correspond with you and ask you to do things specifically?
Yeah, they do. And I also make sure that I ask them what they want to see as well. So, for example, within the past, I'd say 6 to 8 months or so, I've done quite a few videos on wash and goes. So I compared my wash and go with different products. So I actually asked my subscribers, what product should I use next? What do you recommend? I've literally got a whole list, so I've got to go out and buy all of them now.
Oh my gosh.
And try them out. But yeah, so I think it's really nice when you start to, I feel it's lovely when you start to build a following, because you start to see the same people commenting back on your videos and stuff. You feel like they're sort of like your friends in your head. Even
Yeah,
never
it's
really
part
met.
of the community. We are a community now. Natural hair, I mean, we're all one on the planet, aren't we? But natural hair has really opened up a gateway to us cultivating a more expansive community, and it just seems to be expanding so acceleratively.
It's become so strong. And it's also nice sometimes when you're out and you see other naturals as well. Sometimes you kind of give each other a little look and smile like, you're a natural too.
Yeah, you know about wash day, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I feel like my platform took off a lot more, and I started to become a lot more serious about my social media presence when I did the big chop. So finally, I decided my hair was just too damaged, and I was tired of trimming it and having to kind of go back up after having grown my hair a bit more. I just thought, okay, I'm gonna cut it all off. My mum will probably have a heart attack, but I'm gonna do it.
What, you're gonna do it again?
No, I mean I did it 3 years ago.
And
it was a fun experience. I can understand why some people keep their hair short, because I feel like that stage was so fun and very carefree as well. Yeah. But I also did it partly for a charity cause as well. So I raised money for the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust as well.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, because I wanted to do something for them anyway, and I thought, well, I'm chopping my hair off, so why not? I might as well get some sponsorships in the meantime as well.
That's
for
awesome.
them, which was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your hair right now is just 3 years growth.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And I watched your YouTube the other day. It pulls down to the bra.
Yeah.
Let me see. Pull it down.
I trimmed it a little last night, but essentially this is where we are.
Wow. That's just 3 years. Okay, so give us some top tips. What are like your, definite to promote growth? What are maybe like 3 to 5 things that we should definitely be doing?
Okay. I would say number 1, understanding the nature of natural hair. So, for example, understanding that natural hair may feel more dry than when a person's hair was relaxed. So sometimes when people do the big chop, they say, oh, my hair is always dry, but they don't realize that that's just the nature of natural hair. So along with that is moisture, definitely keeping your hair moisturized. When my hair is not blown out like this, I do tend to spray my hair with water on a daily basis, or at least every other day when I forget sometimes. Another thing I would say is deep conditioning is something that's really important for me personally. I know that my hair responds really, really well to deep conditioning. It just helps to really infuse moisture back into your hair after a week of styling, being out and about, being in the sun, etc. I do also think, which I'm not sure if people really touch on this as often, but I think knowing your hair's porosity, I think, is really important.
Okay. So is this the 4C?
No, porosity is to do with your hair's ability to absorb moisture. So people who have low porosity hair, sometimes their hair, they find it difficult to maintain moisture levels in their hair. Whereas people with high porosity hair, water gets into their hair very quickly, but it also leaves very quickly. The reason why it's important is because I stress this sometimes on my channel as well. If you know what your hair's porosity is, then it gives you a clearer idea of what products to use that will work for your hair. So typically, of course, everybody's hair is different, but typically if your hair is low porosity, you want to avoid using too much protein or protein-based products in your hair, because it will just make your hair a lot more dry and harder to maintain.
Right.
Whereas if your hair is high porosity, you want to use protein on a regular basis, because it actually helps your hair to hold on to moisture.
Wow.
So
how can we test? How can we... because I think I have an understanding of what you're saying, because like, for instance, my hair cannot absorb coconut oil by itself.
Okay.
I would have to give it some warm water.
Okay.
And then it seems to open up, I would like to say, the pores of my hair.
Yeah, the cuticles. No, but you're right. It's the same concept as the pores of the skin. Yeah.
The warm water opens it up so that it can be absorbed. Or I would have to mix the coconut oil with maybe castor, menketi oil or something.
Okay, so it sounds like possibly I don't want to make any sort of blanket judgments, but it sounds like your hair may be towards the low porosity side. Because what a lot of people with low porosity tend to say is that when they put products in their hair, sometimes some products just sit on their hair, but they actually don't absorb in. So that's one sign that your hair may be low porosity. What some people also do is they get a strand of their hair and then they get a glass of water and they drop it in and leave it for a few minutes, and then they see what happens. So apparently if your strand of hair floats at the top of the glass, then your hair is low porosity. Because it's not pulling all the water in, it's literally sitting on top.
Right.
If it floats somewhere in the middle, then you're medium porosity, and if your hair literally sinks right to the bottom, then it's supposed to be high porosity.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, apparently so. But also to just be aware that if, for example, if you've coloured your hair as well, that also affects your hair's ability to absorb moisture.
Oh, really?
So that can also affect your porosity as well.
Okay. In a positive or non-positive, or could go either way? Does it make your hair harder, or...
No, but what happens is if you use permanent hair colour, because of the way that the chemicals work in a permanent hair colour, it actually lifts your cuticles in order to deposit the colour. So because of that, it means that for some people, the products that used to work on their hair before, now their hair starts to behave a bit differently. And if you do that too often, that can damage your hair's cuticle as well.
Okay.
So it's just being aware of... I think porosity is a really big indicator of what to do with your hair. Because what I also find sometimes is when I have made a video and I'm talking about products and so on, I have had people feedback to me and say, I tried all of the products that you use, but it didn't work for me and my hair feels really hard and really dry. Because I know my hair is medium to high porosity, my hair loves protein, so it's not a problem for me. But if someone's telling me that their hair gets really hard and dry with my products, then I've said to them, maybe you need to double check. It sounds like your hair might be low porosity. So actually, the products that I use, that I love, your hair may completely and utterly reject and may not like it at all.
That's so interesting, and it's amazing because we do all have like a unique. We all have a unique tick, don't we?
Really.
So like we got to take like little pinches from each other.
It's true.
You know, it's not not everything that goes for you goes for
exactly.
me.
For example, when you have naturals who love coconut oil, and then you have a whole group of people like, my hair hates coconut oil, I cannot stand it.
And some people love castor oil, but then it's too heavy for others.
Exactly.
Like it just they feel like their scalp can't breathe or whatever, and other people feels it promotes hair growth. So it is very interesting and very true.
It is.
So that's water, moisture daily.
Yes.
Knowing your
hair's porosity.
And what else did you say?
Understanding the fact that natural hair behaves very differently to relaxed hair.
Yes.
Did I give any more points? Deep conditioning.
Deep conditioning was number 2, and porosity was number 3. Is there anything else you can think of?
I would say, honestly, having a very good, simple routine works wonders.
Ooh.
Because I know on my channel I show a lot of hairstyles, because sometimes it's fun to just do a different hairstyle. But just because I have some videos showing hairstyles, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm literally styling my hair every single day of the week. In fact, my hair doesn't like that. If I style my hair too much afterwards, my hair just becomes like, no, I don't like this.
So what are you saying? You have to let the hair rest?
Yes. So I think just for the most part, keeping it simple. So find a couple of styles, let's say 2 or 3 styles that you can do on your hair that I'm going to do this. It's going to last a while. I don't have to really be fussing with my hair all the time. So I guess things like, for some people it's twist outs or braid outs. For some people it's wash and goes. For some people it's putting their hair up in a puff. It just depends. Like for me, I would say within the last year or so, I've sort of alternated between, if I wash my hair, I will do, let's say, a wash and go style. After a certain amount of time, my wash and go sort of turns into a big afro anyway. But for me, that's fine. I'm not going to try to fight that or try to get everything to kind of stay completely in place. It's like my hair does what it wants to do. I just have to work with it.
Yeah.
So I'll wear that for 3 or 4 days. And then if it starts to look a bit rough around the edges, and then it goes up in a puff for another 3 or 4 days. And then it's back to washing my hair again. So I've just found some styles that I know work for me, because as much as, we love natural hair and it's great to, it's fun to style and everything, at the same time, life is not all about hair. You want to be caring for your hair as much as possible, but at the same time, you don't want it to kind of take over your life either.
Keeping it a balance.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's very important. So,
awesome. Yeah. I wish I could stay here and talk with you all day. I think we're going to have to do a part 2 to this interview, perhaps. So. Maybe the Natural Hair Weekly listeners, and maybe the Curly Closet listeners as well, they might have some questions that I might have to bring back to you on another time. But please tell me, because I know you've got a new blog site now. We want to know how we can find you, and tell me a little bit about your new blog site.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this for a while, but I finally decided to basically relaunch my blog. So yes, I had a blog a couple of years ago, but then I just thought I wasn't really keeping up with it on a regular basis. And I thought, okay, I'm actually going to relaunch thecurlycloset.com. So I just wanted it to basically be a hub for everything that I do online. So if a person wants to find out kind of what I'm up to a bit on a daily basis, but also more in-depth information about products that I've used, events that I've attended, for example, within the UK or elsewhere, that's also the place that you can find that. So, that's thecurlycloset.com. You can find me there.
And that's curly without an E before the Y. That's CURLY closet.com.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the same for your YouTube channel.
Yes. And all of my other social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat are all at the Curly Closet as well. Yeah.
Wow, you are monitoring a lot. And she's shining through the process. Eyes bright. She's got some red hair dye going on. She's all radiant, glowing over here. Mary, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you for coming along and interviewing me. This has been a very fun experience. I haven't done one of these before, so this is actually quite fun.
Yeah,
I've
because you've been making a real effort, and you've been really feeding and helping the natural hair community for 5 years, and we appreciate you. You know, especially at Natural Hair Weekly, we're always sharing your videos.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Sometimes I'm sort of looking around your site, and then I sort of go, oh, that looks a bit familiar. Oh, it's me. Oh, it's my video. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you do a great job, you know, and you're very professional as well. And you explain things very clearly, and you're very thorough, and you're very fair, and you're honest.
I think it's the teacher in me that's coming out.
Yeah, I must say, because you told me that you graduated and then you got your master's. So what have you got a master's in?
I've got a master's in child development. So I did psychology, but child development.
Wow.
And I did my master's in social psychology topic. I actually used to work in social work for a while. So
wow, that's really, really interesting.
But before that, I trained as a teacher. So
oh my God.
I kind of feel like sometimes when I actually watch my videos back, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can kind of see a little bit of the training coming out.
Yeah, the structure and the way that you teach and share. It definitely helps. Yeah. Wow, maybe there's another conversation to have offline.
Yeah.
Well, Natural Hair Leasters, we're going to be signing off with Mary from the Curly Closet right now. Thank you for listening, and thanks again, Mary.
Okay, you're welcome, and thank you, of course, as always.
So, there you have it.
Wow.
The story.
Yes.
I mean...
Like you just would say, a lot of nuggets there. We got a lot of nuggets there.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got some more nuggets for you just at the end of our podcast, because Mary shares her thoughts on how to blow dry your hair naturally, and the fact that sulfates and parabens may not be that bad after all.
They're not so bad.
They're not so bad after all. So, what have we got in store for the natural listers this week in terms of competitions?
All right, we have the Felicia Leatherwood brush. Now we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we are going to now give this brush away via our Instagram page. Now you have to go on to our page, look out for the post, and follow the directions. And that is how you win the brush. So look out for the post that says the Natural Hair Weekly Podcast Felicia Leatherwood Hairbrush Giveaway. Follow the instructions, and you just might be that lucky person.
Woo! Wow.
Yes, you might be the lucky one.
There you have it.
I hope you are.
There you have it. So to be in it, to win it, you got to go to our Instagram page. We're also going to have some other competitions coming up that you will only hear about if you're subscribed to our newsletter. So make sure you subscribe to our newsletter to also find out about another competition. So we'll be good to you, but you've got to also be good to us. That's how it works, right?
That's right. So be good to yourself.
Yeah.
You need this brush in your life.
I'm telling you, it's a magic brush. Trust me.
Be good to yourself.
Trust me, it's a magic brush. So that's all from us this week. It's a short and sweet one.
Yes.
And we'll be closing out with some words of wisdom from the Curly Closet. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter at NWeekly. Or if you just type in Natural Hair Weekly, it will come up. Go to our Instagram at Natural Hair Weekly. We're on iTunes. You can download the podcast by going to Natural Hair Weekly there. We're on Facebook, Natural Hair Weekly. Kind of feeling the theme right coming up. So just put in Natural Hair Weekly and you'll find us. So we look forward to talking to you, engaging with you. If there's any way we can help you on your natural hair journey, please reach out to us.
Yeah, send us an email, info@naturalhairweekly.com. If you have any stories you would like to share with us, any events coming up, you can send us an email, editor@naturalhairweekly.com. Anything that's going on. Where are my Caribbean people?
Yes.
Where are you?
We want to interview some of you.
We want to hear from some of our Caribbean people.
definitely.
Okay, send us a note. Even if you're a new blogger, you're just starting on the scene. Listen, we're all in this together. Get in there. Let's do this.
Yep. So signing out, and have a great week.
Naturally.
Okay, a quick question for Mary at thecurlycloset.com. Now, it's been said that if you blow dry your natural hair, you can lose your curl pattern. What's your take on that?
I would say it can happen, but it all depends on how much heat you use, and how often you use heat on your hair, and just also your hair's personal tolerance for heat. So some people's hair is very fragile and therefore either doesn't respond well to heat or just needs quite a low heat setting in order to blow dry it or straighten it. Other people's hair has a higher tolerance for heat, and they can do it more often without any damage at all. It all depends. But also, I believe it also has something to do with the process that you take for straightening your hair as well. So, for example, making sure that you use a really good quality shampoo and conditioner before you blow dry or straighten your hair is important, because there are products which are specifically formulated to strengthen the hair for the straightening process. And also using a good heat protectant is very important. Because, with blow dryers, straighteners, it's applying essentially direct heat straight to your hair at very high temperatures. So, using a really good heat protectant is important. I know some people try to avoid using things like silicones sometimes, but the truth is that silicones are actually probably the best heat protectant ingredient that you can have in a heat protectant.
And why are they trying to avoid them?
For some people, they feel that it leaves an extra coating on the hair, and it can prevent, over a period of time, it can build up on your hair and prevent moisture from entering your hair. So some people try to avoid using silicones on their hair. And I don't personally subscribe to that, but
can you create balance by washing your hair?
Yes, you can use a clarifying shampoo. So you can use, for some people, that would be a sulfate shampoo, or a shampoo that says it's a clarifying shampoo. It's supposed to take all the silicones away from your hair.
Okay, so that wouldn't. So for those who are using sulfate free and paraben free, that they would have to do, if they were going to use heat on their hair, they would be advised to use a protectant which probably had silicone, because that's where you get most protection.
Yes.
And then to cleanse your hair of the silicone so it doesn't build up, you'd probably have to use a sulfate and paraben or clarifying shampoo on a one-off occasion, just to get a good deep cleanse.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And even if you're not using heat, every few months there's no harm in using a sulfate shampoo.
Okay.
It's just a question of not using it too often. For some people, it just strips their hair too much. But every so often, every couple of months, let's say every 3 months, using a sulfate shampoo just helps to remove all types of build-up from your hair products, and gives your hair a clean slate, essentially, to start from.
Do you use, on a predominant basis, are you very conscious in terms of using sulfate-free and paraben-free products? Or do you just keep a balance, or your hair, you don't mind?
Overall, I tend to use sulfate-free shampoos overall. I just find that for myself, they tend to be more moisturising for my hair. But I'm not completely against sulfate shampoos. I think that they have their place and they can be really useful, especially if your hair has a lot of build-up on. Then they work excellently for that. I think there are different opinions within the natural hair community as to what works best, what's safe, what's not safe. I remember a few years going to a natural hair event and actually having a scientist talk about the ingredients in hair products, and she said that apparently she said that actually parabens are not always a bad thing, because she said actually some things that we consume, for example blueberries, actually have naturally occurring parabens in them. But because people have heard the word paraben in a negative context, they automatically thought, parabens, I have to stay away from them at all costs. So yeah, that was very eye-opening. I mean, overall, I would say it's much better to use something that's more natural based on your hair or body in general. But I don't stress about the ingredients in my products too much. I know that if something is a bit too heavy for my hair, if I use a clarifying shampoo, it will take it away. And I think the thing is, as with everything, anything in excess is a bad thing, but in moderation, it's a good thing.
It's all about balance.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.